So you've jumped into Vane and gotten your feet wet. Maybe you're coming up on the end of your first day, week, or month even. Possibly off a few dozen zombies or so, most likely built up a small base of operations or two, and assuredly on your way to becoming self-sufficient. Well, the road ahead has many bumps, twists, and turns that still await you. What's going on, everybody? Sharpie360 here, and today I have a list of 30 plus tips that will help you overcome those challenges and add a few more tricks to your semi-pro arsenal of survival. Let's get going, and make sure to like and subscribe if you find this video helpful at all, and comment below if you have some of your own semi-pro noob tips to share. Alright, sweet, right off the bat with tip number 1. Tip number 1. Carry weight is increased by your passive strength level and a backpack or some form of storage bag. The best backpack is the military combat pack and gives you 125 pounds of extra carry weight. Tip number 2. Losing your favorite tools and weapons is a pain. Instead, favorite and lock them. Favoriting an item will move it to the top of your inventory, and locking it will ensure the item will not be moved when using the take all and put these buttons. And having an item locked won't stop it from being quick transferred, dismantled, or dropped. So be careful. Tip number 3, a quick way to find an item in your inventory, especially if you're like me and carry way too much junk on you all the time. You can use the search box to directly filter for the item you want. This works for yourself in any searchable containers. Tip number 4, farming is an invaluable skill for longevity, particularly on the higher difficulties. There are a number of farm plots that can be built. They will need to be filled with soil, and the quality of the soil will make a big difference in the yield and plant life. Plant the seeds and keep it watered until it's matured. Harvest and enjoy. Tip number 5. Seeds can be collected when harvesting plants and found in garages, sheds, and stores. Soil can be acquired directly from the ground using a hoe, but higher quality soil will need to be looted or crafted using the compost bin. Tip number 6. A compost bin is a mid-level buildable that you can fill with compostable material, and after a handful of days it will become compost. You can also find them across the world, typically near gardens. The quality of what you put in the compost will determine the quality of the soil it produces. If you use dead animals, meat, and rotten produce, you'll get low-quality compost. But filling the bin with fresh produce, wood, cardboard, and paper scrap will yield high to excellent quality soil. You can fill up to 100 pounds of materials, and it will take 5 days to finish composting. Tip number 7. Your crops need water. The makeshift sprinkler is a great way to keep your plants hydrated while you're busy doing other tasks. You can connect a sprinkler directly to a water source such as a sink, but you can also connect it to water sources such as a fluid barrel or even its own rain collector or well. Tip number 8. Plan ahead for your water. Building rain collectors early on will help to stockpile your water supply for when the water shuts off. Rain collectors will freeze over when winter hits, so building a couple insulated rain collectors when able is highly advised. Right now, city water and power cannot be turned back on. That is planned for a future update. Tip number 9. Appliances such as juice or slushie machines, usually found in convenience stores, will act as a water source until they run out of product, powered or not. So keeping 1 or 2 of these in your base regularly will help you more than you think. Tip number 10. There are a ton of new recipes to learn than what you start with. Crafting recipes can be learned from schematics, food recipes can be learned from cookbooks, furniture and decor recipes can be learned by examining them throughout the world. Each will have their own skill level requirements to learn. Tip number 11. Iron scrap will become an essential crafting material quite quickly. Almost anything metal can be a source of iron, but things like metal shelves and dumpsters will give you more than a paint bucket, typically. A great source is located around the swamps. Bog iron is a rock that appears in this area, and mining it will yield iron scrap directly. You can also mine hematite and smelt that into iron ingots. Tip number 12. Noisemakers like car horns, police sirens, fireworks, and even plain old gunfire are a great way to attract and lure the zombies to a specific area. If ever you wanted to distract a horde of zombies surrounding a POI, a loud noise from one of these would certainly work. Tip number 13. You can also use loud noises to attract predators that you can kill for meat and raw leather. Head out into the wooded area away from the town with a cop car and turn the siren on. The wolves and hogs will start to come near and attack. Tip number 14. Mobile spawn points can be acquired in the form of an ambulance or an RV. The RV's bonus is that it has its own stove for cooking, but less built-in storage. The ambulance has more storage than the RV and is more nimble, but only has the stretcher bed. Tip number 15. Light up the night. Placing standing lights around your outside base is a good method for keeping it bright and visible. You can wire these into the fuse box when the power is on as normal, but since we don't have a proper wiring or switches yet, you will have to turn each light on and off individually. Instead, place a gas generator in a central area and wire the lights to it. This will allow you to keep all the lights on, but control them using the generator as a switch. Tip number 16, gloves do more than just cover your dirty mitts. Depending on the type, they can offer a variety of protections. Protections from sharp objects, electricity, and extreme heat will mitigate damage from otherwise harmful tasks such as hot wiring a car or handling near molten metals. There are currently 6 types of gloves in game, and 4 of them, firefighter, garden, leather, and wool, will protect you from extreme heat. Tip number 17, firearms have a number of attachments that can be added on the fly. Depending on the gun, you can add attachments like a red dot sight, a silencer, and a vertical grip. In the menu, you can drag the attachment onto the appropriate firearm, and a metal clicking sound will confirm it's attached. You can remove the attachment in the firearm context menu by clicking detach. Note, some attachments will fit better on certain guns than others. Tip number 18. Bullets weigh less than magazines. If you're strapped for space but also armed for a small war, carrying only a handful of magazines and keeping them reloaded with loose ammo instead of carrying a bunch of loaded mags will reduce your carried weight, or inversely allow you to carry that much more ammo. Tip number 19, whether PvE or PvP, fortifications will be one of your lifelines. Fortifications have tiers and each higher tier will protect better. Tier 2 reinforced wood fortifications are strong enough to withstand any zombie attacks, but won't hold up against the human counterpart. When dealing with the living, Tier 3 and better yet, Tier 4 will be your best line of defense, protecting against everything except explosive damage. Tip number 20. In addition to the 24 snap point angles, fortification walls or fences can be stacked, layered, and clipped into each other. Walls can be stacked vertically up to 3 levels high and can be placed horizontally at height without needing support pieces underneath it. Using a narrow snap angle, you can layer up your fences so they will be parallel and straight. Based on how bodies collide with the fencing, we can do this to achieve almost a catwalk of sorts, and because the snap system allows for clipping, we can use this to create some interesting fencing layouts. But regardless of what you build, if it's only 1 level high, the zombies will be able to climb it. But floors and ceilings are coming in a further update. Tip number 21, lockpicking being a vital skill and an essential function, you're going to need lockpicks. A shortcut to finding the lockpick schematic is to pick the thief former occupation when creating a new character, and this will start you off with the schematic. You can make a throwaway character and leave it for yourself to pick up. Lockpicks, unless the recipe changes in future balancing, is a crazy expensive item to craft. Requiring 1 pair of scissors and 5 springs really stacks up the cost, so ideally you'll want to find the schematics for scissors and springs and stock up on those too. Tip number 22, you can adjust the jank of the melee combat in first person view. The zoom in on melee slider in gameplay options controls this, and setting it to 0 will remove any zoom effect when attacking and give a much smoother combat experience. Thanks, Rob. Tip number 23, you can bypass entire crafting chains if you have the right tools and know where to look. Scrap metal sheets, pipes, and whatnot are high-tier crafting materials that can be a grind to actually craft manually. Use the hydraulic cutter if you have one to dismantle strong metal fences, like those around the prison. These fences and similar items will yield those scrap metal materials and even reinforced metal brackets. A lot of the crafting materials that would be made in the workbench can be found by dismantling special items across the world. These items usually have a fairly involved crafting chain of their own, so finding them versus crafting them can save you a lot of time and running around. Tip number 24, if you haven't done so yet, hotkey your car controls to make life easier on you. You can set the enter and exit action to a key as well as the start and stop engine action. These can be used even when in third person view while in a vehicle. Tip number 25, a schematic workbench might seem unnecessary at first glance, but it allows you to decode schematics, which means its skill level requirement in order to read it gets halved. So a schematic that normally requires 50 crafting would only require 25. Tip number 26, using multiple overlapping utility cabinets can cause some weird behavior when trying to move furniture and storage between them. The best method I've found that works is staying in boundary of the current UC, and instead of walking the item over, use the camera to place it over where you need it, or at least into the boundary of the other UC. All the UCs will need to have their own maintenance materials provided, and each player will need to interact with each one individually to establish a claim, or right to use it. Tip number 27. Some places do not have breathable air and will require a rebreather and a handful of portable oxygen tanks to traverse. Oxygen tanks are very heavy, so you'll need to take that into consideration when going on an adventure that requires such equipment. It's easy to get over-encumbered when you're down in the depths. A good spot to find these tanks are near docks of houses and fishing spots, and medical places. Depending on when you're watching this, the ability to refill these tanks may or may not have been added yet. Tip number 28. Power and water are slated to be overhauled at some point, but for now, houses and buildings that can be powered only require meeting a certain energy threshold. For instance, a house only requires approximately 500 watt hours to be considered powered. When powered, all appliances, lights, and equipment drawing power will work, regardless of how much you have connected and turned on. The gas generators work similarly in the sense that whether you have 1 light or 9 lights hooked up to it, the same amount of fuel will be consumed regardless. This will change down the road. Tip number 29, be efficient with your smelting to conserve fuel. You can bring up the forge to the temp you need it to be and shut it down right away. The forge takes time to cool down, so while it's doing so and still above your needed temperature, materials will continue to smelt into ingots. You can periodically turn the forge back on to bring it above the threshold. Make sure you're wearing the appropriate gloves too. Tip number 30, longevity is the main goal, and when seasons start to shift, availability of food will also shift. Non-perishable food items will last for a long time and can be stockpiled for when the going gets rough. Don't be like me and just go for a can of soup because it's easy. Take the time to cook some good food. Not only will you get an area of effect bonus for the good smell, but some recipes even give XP and stat bonuses for a limited time. And you can save your long-lasting food for when the cold days roll in. Tip number 31, the claw sword is the best melee weapon in the game right now. You need to find the schematic for it and also acquire a lawnmower blade, which will require a hydraulic cutter to dismantle a lawnmower. It sounds like a silly item, so it's easy to overlook it. Tip number 32, get to know the admin menu and some of the game-saving features it gives us. There's many tools to help fix or quickly restore mishaps that might happen as a result of early access bugginess, like healing commands, teleporting players, spawning or despawning zombies, and much more. You can even adjust the server and game configuration on the fly without needing to quit out. So if you're curious and want to take a little more control of your game, check it out using the / button. Tip number 33, turning off vehicle outgoing player damage in the game config or when starting a new game will prevent vehicles from hurting other players. When doing co-op, the buggy vehicles can be just as much of a threat as the zombies, so having this off makes things a bit more forgiving. Well, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully these tips will help you on your way to becoming a semi-pro noob just like me. And now you have a few more tricks up your sleeve, Weasel. Again, these are all tips that have helped me in my games and they can be adjusted accordingly. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful at all, make sure to hit that like button and follow and subscribe. And if you haven't checked out my first 30+ tips video, I'll have it linked in the description. If you have any semi-pro noob tips of your own that you want to share, drop it in a comment down below. And while you're down there, check out the Discord if you want to join the Sharpness community. Shouts to the channel members and supporters, and with that being said, thanks again for watching, have a good one, and until next time, stay sharp.